Hey there golfers, Andrew Rice out here on the lesson tee at the Western Savannah Harbor Resort. Thank you so much for joining in today. We're going to talk a little bit about the pivot, how the body moves. I think it's very important. If we can get our body to work correctly, all of a sudden our arms almost have no choice but to start to do the right thing. And so I do think that the pivot is very, very important, certainly when making a golf swing, and how we can get that body to move. What are some of the faults that I see? This is something that I see on my lesson tee all too frequently, and from face on, it's got quite a bit of this look to it. The head moves off the golf ball. The club, as we go back, it gets too far to the inside, and there's a lot of that look. Well, watch the shoulders, okay? From down the line here, I'd love for you to see really what the shoulders are doing. As the head moves off, notice how my lead shoulder here tends to stay high and actually works outward a little bit. That is a product of a shoulder plane, essentially a body pivot that is too level. And I know there's a number of you out there who are actually trying to make this level pivot. You're trying to turn level. And I've got to tell you, with the ball being down there, we've got to make an inclined pivot. And so I'm going to share a couple of ideas to help you start to move the body correctly. And I think if we can do, I know if you can do that, the quality of strike, the consistency of strike is going to improve. A couple of things I would like to share with you. I'm going to put this club down. If I'm set up to this golf ball, and I would love for you to feel there's almost a little bit of a piston-like motion. As the lead side goes down, the trail side comes up. And so a little bit of this sense right here. Lead side down, left shoulder down, in my case, right shoulder up, and we've got the reverse on the way through. Notice how there's not a lot of flat shoulder pivot, which automatically bumps my head off the golf ball. So a great sense, if you get yourself a piece of string, just wrap it around an alignment rod tucked into the ground and make some of those motions. That becomes very, very easy to get a sense for, that pivot motion. Another exercise, if you'd like to get a better sense for the pivot, is this. Take a club, I've just got a 7-iron here. Put it across the tips of your shoulders, just so that the grip end is sticking out on the lead side. Get yourself set up to the golf ball, and now I'd love to see, without a lot of head movement, let's see if we can get the handle, the butt end of the club, to pivot downward. Notice how the first move in my lead shoulder, that lead shoulder's got to go down first, and then from there it works across. And so let's see if we can get the butt end of the club pretty close to pointing at the golf ball. I'll show you from down the line. If it gets a little above the golf ball, if I'm pointing at those 3 balls outside my ball that I'm setting up to, that's okay as well. But just as long as you start to get a sense for the lead shoulder going down initially and then across. Okay, that's the sense I would love for us to have. Notice this, I touched on this a second ago. If my lead shoulder works properly and it gets that downward movement early, watch what my lead arm does, okay? Notice how it actually stays in. As soon as I turn my shoulders level, my left arm, in my case, starts to get pitched outward. So if you want to feel, and I believe you should, you want to feel like that lead arm stays in on the way back, that's an important key to unlock that happening. Okay, and so even if, here's another one. If you hit shots with the ball slightly below your feet, an incline, hit shots, just a 7 or an 8-iron, you don't need to hit anything much longer than that, but just hit shots where the ball is below your feet. That's going to give you a sense for how the body, how those shoulders should start to work. Okay, now, on the way back, left shoulder is definitely going down, right shoulder is definitely going up. The hips should follow suit to a lesser degree, but they're going to do something very similar. The lead hip is actually going to lose some altitude. The trail hip is going to gain some as my trail leg starts to straighten into the backswing. Okay, and that's really what we're going to look for. So don't be afraid to feel like the legs are contributing to some of this motion. On the way back, there, trail leg is straightening. Get a feel for that. You will notice if, And this is a dead giveaway. This is what I look for in a lot of my lessons, particularly from face on. If the player has got some head movement off the golf ball, and I'm okay with head movement as long as it's done the right way. We don't want to do it where the lead shoulder is staying very high. When the lead shoulder gets overly high going back, notice how you can see my right elbow underneath my left elbow when the left arm's parallel to the ground, or at least something close to that. Okay, that's an indicator that the shoulder pivot is too level. Anytime halfway back, if we see the trail elbow underneath the lead elbow, that's a giveaway. Shoulders are too level. What should it look like? Something along these lines. Watch. Lead shoulders down, trail shoulders up, and we're going to look for something along those lines. Okay. Every one of the best players of all time, they all have that same look, okay, as they get to that halfway point in the backswing. They all have it. Some of them have more, but none of them have that. Okay, Jack had quite a bit of that. He actually had a little gap between his right forearm and his left forearm. So how do we try that? I step up to the golf ball and I get a sense of, okay, I almost want to feel like that lead shoulder is going to work down to my left shoe. One thing to watch for as you sense that, I saw in my shadow there, watch for your head starting to move that way. We don't want that. We just want that shoulder to go downward just a little bit. And that's going to be the kickoff. That's going to get things started into the backswing here. So it's nice relaxed left arm. Notice how the left arm's staying in. Those shoulders are going to be quite vertical here. Slow. Lovely strike there. Okay. Let's try another one. And this is how we're going to do it. We're going to start off slowly. We're going to be very hands-on. As soon as we kick this over into full speed, it's autopilot, okay, and we lose control of things. If you can go slowly, and it's not easy to do initially, but you can learn how to do it. If I can do it, you can do it. There. Another one. Okay, and then we start to build some speed in from there, golfers. Okay, it's very important to get this piston sense. That's how we're going to get loaded up and be able to deliver that energy into the back of the golf ball, into the ground. Get the body moving correctly, pivoting correctly. It'll certainly help. Quality of strike, and I believe face control as well. Give it a go. Thanks for watching.